There is a reason you stopped right here. There is a reason your attention locked onto these words instead of moving on. Something inside you knew you needed to hear this, even if you could not explain why. What you felt recently was not random, and it was not your imagination. A shift already happened, and your body sensed it before your mind could catch up. Yesterday carried a different weight, a strange pressure that arrived without warning, and that feeling was not coming from you alone. Someone else reached a breaking point, and the moment their inner world collapsed, the signal reached you. This is not about coincidence or overthinking. This is about a connection that was never truly broken, only strained, and yesterday it pulled tight enough for you to feel it. There is a very powerful reason why you felt pulled to hear this right now. This moment did not happen by chance. Your intuition led you here because, deep inside, you already sensed the truth. You know that something strange and unexpected happened yesterday. There was a shift in the atmosphere, a heaviness that appeared out of nowhere, or maybe a sudden wave of fear that did not match what you were doing at that exact time. You could have been busy with your normal routine, smiling with someone, scrolling on your phone, or trying to relax, when all of a sudden a hollow feeling pressed into your chest without warning. I need you to understand that this was not your imagination. That sudden unease was not born from your own emotions. It was the reflection of someone else's emotional collapse reaching you across distance. This person is not doing well because of you, and when I say they are not doing well, I do not mean simple longing or light sadness. Their inner emotional balance has been shaken deeply. Yesterday, they felt your presence more strongly than they have at any point since the separation or the emotional distance began. It is important for you to realize that the connection between two people is not limited by physical distance or blocked communication. True human bonds, especially those that touch the soul, do not obey rules of space or technology. They move like connected streams. When one side becomes overwhelmed, the other side feels the pressure without understanding why. What you felt yesterday, that uneasy restlessness that made you check your phone again and again, expecting a message that never arrived, or that sudden waking in the early hours with their name sitting in your mind, was proof that their emotional defenses finally broke down. For a long time, this person worked hard to build a wall of emotional distance. They convinced themselves they could move forward without you, that cutting emotional ties was possible, that forgetting you was a realistic choice. But yesterday, that wall fell apart. Everything they had been holding back, every word they never said, every feeling they tried to silence, burst inside them all at once. The emotional pressure became too strong, and the release was so intense that you sensed it in your own body. Understanding this matters for your peace, because your logical mind likely tried to explain what you felt in reasonable ways. You may have blamed stress, exhaustion, or your own thoughts playing tricks on you. But your inner self knows how to tell the difference between your own emotions and emotions that arrive from outside. What you experienced yesterday was not random discomfort. It was a quiet cry for help. In their loneliness, this person was forced to face the reality of life without you, and the weight of that realization crushed them. They discovered that distractions no longer work, that noise cannot silence memory, and that nothing truly fills the space you left behind. They are now passing through a dark inner phase, a deep emotional night where everything feels heavy and unclear. In that darkness, the only light they can recognize is the one you once brought into their life. Even though their pride or fear stops them from reaching out directly, their energy already has. Yesterday, their inner self searched for you with desperation. That is why you felt watched, called, or strangely connected, as if someone was speaking loudly in an empty space and you were the only one who could hear it. To understand why this emotional collapse happened yesterday and not earlier, you must recognize that something shifted beneath the surface. There is an invisible process behind this moment, an unseen movement that caused a sudden change in the emotional field between you. Have you noticed how your thoughts about them suddenly became stronger, more vivid, almost as if they were standing close to you? That intensity is linked to what unfolded in their private space last night and the energetic release that occurred over the past day. This was not an ordinary moment in their emotional timeline. It was a peak, a moment where everything reached its limit. Imagine that this person has been filling an invisible container with memories of you. Every memory they tried to ignore, every urge to contact you that they stopped, every emotion they swallowed to appear strong added to that container. Yesterday, it overflowed. Their resistance collapsed from exhaustion. Keeping up an emotional lie takes an enormous amount of energy. Pretending that someone who matters deeply to your soul is unimportant is one of the most draining things a person can do. Yesterday, they could no longer carry that burden. At the same time, it is possible that something shifted within you. Perhaps you loosened your grip without realizing it. Maybe you focused on yourself for a while, stopped waiting, stopped sending anxious thoughts in their direction. In the energetic world, when you stop pushing or clinging, a space forms, and space demands to be filled. When your attention withdrew, even briefly, they felt the true weight of your absence. As long as you were emotionally present and attached, they felt safe. They felt they still had access to you on an unseen level. That comfort allowed them to remain distant and emotionally guarded. But when that support faded, their subconscious reacted with fear. They felt, on a deep level, that they were truly losing you. This fear did not appear as a clear thought. It appeared as a physical sensation, a tightening, a heaviness, a sense that the air around them changed. They might have been with friends, at a social event, or even attempting to connect with someone new when a sudden emotional sickness washed over them. Nothing felt right anymore. Conversations sounded empty. Laughter felt forced. Sounds irritated them. Their mind betrayed them with constant comparisons. No one sees me like that. No one understands me like that. No one loves me like that. Yesterday, those comparisons were relentless, and they could not escape your presence in their thoughts. This emotional surge often shows up as anxiety without a clear reason. On the surface, their life may seem stable, work may be fine, health may be fine, everything may appear normal. Yet inside they felt that something was terribly wrong. They felt time slipping away. They felt that pride was costing them more than they expected. They likely stared at their phone, typed messages they never sent, checked your profile, searched for proof that you still exist in their world. They did this not out of curiosity, but out of desperation. Yesterday, they felt you more strongly than ever because their emotional barriers were gone. When the ego grows tired of resisting, the soul steps forward. And their soul wants only one thing: to return to what feels like home. You represent that emotional home. The intensity of what they felt caused confusion and regret. They questioned their choices. They wondered why they pulled away, why they allowed distance to grow, why they chose silence. Guilt and regret are heavy emotions, and they weigh down the spirit. That weight is what they are carrying now. When it is said that they are doing badly, it is not exaggeration. It is an accurate description of their inner state. They are trapped between desire and fear. They want you, but fear reaching out. They miss you, but doubt they will be welcomed. They long to speak, but the thought of rejection freezes them. This inner conflict creates a strong flow of energy aimed directly at you. You became the receiver of that emotional transmission. That is why you felt unsettled yesterday. You absorbed the shock of their emotional collapse. They may have tried to distract themselves, sleep it away, or bury themselves in activity. But emotion is like water. It always finds a way through. Yesterday, the emotional flood could not be contained. They realized that you are woven into their life in a way that cannot be erased. Your presence left a permanent mark. This realization terrifies someone who runs from their own feelings. That fear turned into the anxiety you sensed. It is the fear of recognizing a mistake without knowing how to fix it. And that fear did not remain only in their thoughts. Their body responded as well. Missing someone has a physical aspect, and yesterday that response was unusually strong. Their body reacted to the emotional truth they could no longer deny. This reaction is now interfering with their ability to function normally, leaving them restless, distracted, and emotionally overwhelmed as the reality of losing you finally sinks in. If you had the ability to see through walls and quietly watch them when they are alone, you would notice undeniable evidence that your energy has deeply affected their inner world. You would see that, without realizing it, they are no longer fully in control of their own reactions. What makes this connection so powerful is that it does not stay only in thoughts or vague emotions. It moves beyond ideas and shows itself clearly in the physical world. If you could observe this person right now, you would notice their body responding in ways their logical mind cannot manage or explain. The human body is an incredibly sensitive receiver. When emotions are buried and the soul cries out, the body always answers. What this person felt yesterday and continues to feel today is not just missing you in a casual way. It is a deep, physical response to your absence. Their system is reacting as if something essential has been removed. They are not only thinking about you, their entire organism is showing signs of energetic loss. The mental resistance they try to keep up, the effort to stay strong and detached, is slowly collapsing at the physical level. This leaves them confused and irritated because, on the surface, they believe they should be fine and moving forward. Yet their body tells a completely different story. One of the clearest signs they are experiencing right now is a strange pressure in the center of their chest. It is not sharp pain and not something a doctor would easily explain. It feels more like tightness, as if an unseen hand is pressing inward, or as if the air around them has become thinner even though they are breathing normally. This sensation is the body holding all the words they never said and all the feelings they pushed down. It is love that had no place to go and now has nowhere to hide. Yesterday, this pressure likely grew much stronger. There may have been a moment when they suddenly paused during the day, took a deep breath without thinking, or placed a hand over their chest as if trying to calm something heavy inside. What they felt was not physical weight, but emotional weight. It is the deep knowing, stored in their nervous system, that they are far from where they truly belong. Their body recognizes the distance, even if their mind refuses to admit it. Along with this sensation comes something you might recognize because you may have felt it yourself at some point. It is the strange pattern of waking up at dawn, opening their eyes at repeating times, and feeling restless without knowing why. Their sleep is disturbed. They may fall asleep because they are exhausted, but their rest is light and broken. Their body never fully relaxes. Yesterday, there is a strong chance they woke up suddenly sometime between 3 and 4 in the morning. It felt as if someone whispered their name, or as if the room suddenly changed. In the stillness of the night, when the mind's defenses are weak and distractions are gone, their thoughts go straight to you. They do not choose this. It simply happens. They turn from one side to the other, trying to find comfort, but the bed feels crowded with memories. The pillow holds images of what once was, and questions about what could have been. This sudden waking is the body's response to the energy you carry, or to the empty space you left behind when you pulled your energy away. The silence becomes loud, and your presence is felt most strongly when everything else is quiet. Another clear sign of their current state is a deep tiredness that doesn't go away, no matter how much they rest. This is not normal tiredness. It is a heavy exhaustion that makes even simple daily actions feel difficult. Walking, talking, or completing basic tasks seems to take more effort than usual. This fatigue comes from the inner battle they are fighting every day. Imagine how much energy is wasted trying to convince yourself that someone important no longer matters. Imagine the strain of acting normal while denying what your heart knows is true. The mind keeps saying no, while the heart keeps answering yes. This constant conflict drains their life force. It leaves them empty and disconnected. That is why yesterday and even today, they feel dull and unmotivated, as if they are moving through life on autopilot. People around them may notice that something is different. Their eyes no longer shine the same way. Their usual spark seems dimmed. The enthusiasm they once carried feels missing. The source of energy that was strengthened by your presence now feels far away, and they do not know how to replace it. Changes in appetite often come with this state. The stomach, which reacts strongly to emotional stress, tightens when separation anxiety appears. They may feel a knot in their stomach that makes eating uncomfortable or unappealing. Or they may experience moments of nervous hunger, eating quickly without pleasure, trying to fill an emptiness that food cannot touch. Yesterday, food likely tasted flat and uninteresting to them. Even meals they usually enjoy felt empty. This happens because deep inside, their sense of joy and emotional nourishment is linked to you. When the soul is not receiving the connection it longs for, the body loses interest in physical pleasure. This is a basic form of grief, one their body is processing even if their conscious mind refuses to call it that. Even their senses are looking for you without their permission. Their mind creates small illusions to cope. Yesterday, they may have thought they saw you walking among strangers or felt certain they heard your voice in a crowded place. Smell, which is closely tied to memory, plays tricks on them. A sudden familiar scent passes by, reminding them of you, your presence, or simply how you made them feel. In places where it would be impossible for you to appear, their brain still searches desperately for signs of you. It wants proof that you are near. It projects your image into reality because the absence feels too difficult to accept. Yesterday, they may have turned their head quickly, convinced you were there. And when they realized you were not, the emptiness became even deeper. Their body is looking for you the way dry land looks for rain. This instinctive search is clear evidence that even if they say nothing, even if they stay silent, every cell in their body is calling out to you. This is not imagination or fantasy. It follows a natural law of the mind and body, one observed and understood long ago by great thinkers who studied human connection and emotional bonds. When you understand why their body responds this way to your unseen energy, something shifts inside you. Doubt begins to fade. You gain peace knowing that your intuition was not wrong. You understand why this person felt themselves breaking yesterday, even though you were not physically there. You understand why, without words or messages, you could still feel it so clearly. We must turn toward the wisdom of one of the greatest explorers of the human mind, Carl Jung. Even though he lived long ago, he understood something that modern spirituality confirms every single day, that at our deepest level, we are not truly separate from one another. What appears divided on the surface is connected in ways we cannot see. Jung explained that our minds are not isolated islands floating alone in an empty sea. Instead, they are part of something far greater, an immense field of shared awareness, a vast ocean of consciousness where everything is linked beneath the surface. We may believe we are independent and disconnected, but underneath, there is constant communication taking place. He called this deeper layer the collective unconscious. To imagine it more clearly today, we can think of it as a massive invisible network, similar to a Wi-Fi signal that surrounds the entire universe and that every human being is constantly connected to, whether they realize it or not. There is no on and off switch. We are always connected. Picture this image. You and this person are like two trees planted miles apart. On the surface, they seem unrelated. Each tree has its own trunk, its own branches, its own space, its own direction of growth. From above the ground, there appears to be no connection at all. Yet beneath the soil, their roots stretch outward. Over time, those roots reach each other, touch, and slowly intertwine deep below the surface. Through these hidden roots, nutrients are exchanged, signals are passed, warnings travel silently. When one tree experiences stress, damage, or sudden change, the other receives that information through the underground system. Even without visible contact, they respond to one another. Carl Jung taught that this unseen connection explains why we can feel someone without seeing them, and why meaningful events often happen at the same time in different places. It explains why distance does not erase connection and why time does not weaken what was real. Within this understanding exists a powerful idea Jung called synchronicity. Synchronicities are not random coincidences or meaningless accidents. They are moments when the outer world mirrors what is happening inside us. They are signs that inner movement and outer events are aligned. When you felt sudden anxiety yesterday without knowing why, or when this person heard a song that reminded them of you at the exact moment they were trying not to think about you, that was not chance. That was synchronicity. It was the universe arranging events to reflect what is happening in the unseen space between you. It is the way the universe quietly confirms that the connection is still alive. Synchronicity is the language of this shared consciousness. It is how this greater mind communicates that the story is not finished, that the chapter has not truly closed. It is as if the universe itself is gently but persistently guiding this person back toward you. No matter how far they try to run, they keep encountering reminders, memories, feelings, and signs that all point in your direction. So why did this person feel you yesterday with such overwhelming intensity? According to this Jungian view, thoughts and emotions are not abstract ideas, they are energy, just as real as electricity flowing through a wire. You cannot see electricity, but you see its effects. In the same way, emotional energy moves through the collective unconscious, whether we acknowledge it or not. When you think of someone with deep emotion, or when you release them with true acceptance, you send a wave through this invisible network. That wave does not disappear, it travels. Yesterday, something shifted within your own energy. Perhaps you stopped resisting. Perhaps you reached a place of calm acceptance. Perhaps your emotional state changed without you fully realizing it. Or maybe the energy that had been building within the shared unconscious simply reached a breaking point. Whatever the reason, the connection between you activated. This person who is tied to you through this invisible and unbreakable thread received that emotional surge. They did not choose it. Their soul picked up the signal before their logical mind could block it or explain it away. Jung would say that what this person is experiencing now, this emotional crisis, this sense of doing very badly, is not a mistake. It is a necessary part of their individuation process, the painful but essential journey toward personal growth and maturity. People often run from deep connections because such bonds act like mirrors. They show us parts of ourselves we would rather not face. You are the mirror in which this person sees their own shadows, their fear of surrender, their fear of vulnerability, their insecurity, and also their enormous ability to love, which they try hard to deny. By creating distance from you, they believed they were escaping pain. In reality, They were trying to escape themselves, specifically the part of their soul that came alive when they were with you. But as this wisdom reminds us, what we deny gains power over us, and what we accept has the power to transform us. Yesterday, denial stopped working. The emotional energy they had been suppressing overflowed. It forced them to look inward. It forced them to feel you through this invisible network. Whether you intended it or not, you sent a shockwave that made them question the reality they were trying to maintain. You do not need to send messages, make calls, or show up physically to affect this person. At the level of the collective unconscious, physical presence matters far less than inner state. The strongest communication happens in silence. When you are calm, grounded and certain within yourself, that state travels through the invisible connection and reaches the other side. Yesterday, this person felt that pull. They felt that despite the physical distance, you were more present inside them than ever before. From this perspective, there are no villains and no victims. There are only two souls moving within a web of deep meaning. The pain this person feels now, the discomfort, the emotional collapse, is not punishment. It is a sign of awakening. Their unconscious mind is flooding them with memories of you, dreams, sensations, and emotions, all aimed at breaking down the rigid shell of their ego. The ego seeks safety, control, and separation. But the collective unconscious seeks truth, unity, and honesty. That is why the more this person resists the connection, the stronger the signals become.